Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Dice Cult for episode 31 of On the Backs of Gods. I am your DM, Jillian, and today we have our players. Frank is not here with us currently, but hopefully our cleric dwarf will be kicking in the door later. But we have Kyle, Mac, Josh, Abby, and Christo. I am going to go ahead and jump into it, give us a bit of a recap about what happened last time, and then I think we can get the story going. So last time you all were in your cart on the way to Leminder Field, and you came across 9 hulk-handed men, which you find out are orcs, shock, awe, basically mugging this old lady and her cow. They had pushed her to the side of the road and were taking things off the back of her cart. You all showed up. The leader was like, hey, listen, I'm busy. You guys can go. As he sees your cart looks incredibly empty. There is a lull, and then Saga jumps off the cart. Weapons are drawn. And then Gorbjorn starts screaming and runs into combat. Weapons are out. Gorbjorn is out and swinging, kills a man instantly. Anyway.
That's just how he rolls.
A combat ensues. A pretty hard combat as the party fights against multiple enemies, multiple people going down. But eventually the party wins. Tordrek, I believe, got his first kill of the game. Very exciting as he knocks this dude's jaw off, basically. Feeling the heart of the barbarian somewhere deep inside of him. Gorbjorn sees a bit of a figure in the mist, ignores it because, hey, I'm here to fight some things, and Roshan said go kill some stuff, and I'm in it to win it. You all defeat all of these orcs. One of them runs away when he realizes I'm basically the last dude standing, and I'm right next to the tree line. And he books it. The party saves this old woman, begins to burn the bodies. Gorbjorn, during the combat, had removed his mask, showing his face and taunting the other orcs, to which they seemed disgusted by what they saw. He also finds a folded up piece of paper in the leader's pocket, which is a map. And there is a place marked on the map nearby called Summit. And am I correct? Am I saying the right name? Reach. There we go. I'm like, Summit didn't sound right. It says Reach, has an X through it, and it says something along the lines of dangerous, go back for loot later. You all accept Ellie, the old woman, and Athumbla, the cow, into your party. As her cart is broken, you all plan to start moving ahead after you burn all of the bodies. Gorbjorn pulls Nana aside to have a quick conversation about what he found, and says how he felt about killing these men, that he didn't think it was right. That maybe was not the correct response to what happened. You all talk about maybe continuing to Leminder Field and then heading to the Reach. But we'll discuss with the party later. Ellie joins the party, and you all start heading off down the road after a nice short rest. And that's where we are currently, with Ellie, who just yelled shotgun and then climbed into the front seat next to Nana. She smiles at you. And she just sort of smiling, and she's like, Atumbla, come on. As the cart starts moving, like at first it's like the cow doesn't move, and then it's like, I have no choice. And then the cow starts moving.
I feel that in my soul, cow.
It's just like, it's kind of like walking a cat, where it's just almost dragging, but it's like, yeah, I'll walk.
If it's a choice between walking or being dragged, I guess
if those are the options. So you all are continuing forward with Ellie, who seems to be a bit of a talker. She continues. It's kind of like the ye old version of talking about the road signs as you do a road trip, but talking about like the flora and fauna, and being like, oh, look at that cloud, She just seems to, and it's not always like out loud to everybody. It's like, but it's always, she's making a noise usually.
Adorable.
And occasionally be like, oh, so your lady satyr, what was the deal? And, and we'll try to like re-pick up old conversations. And that's where you guys are currently heading on your way. Is there anything you guys wanted to do or talk about as you start off?
I kind of did just want to get a feel for how far away we ought to be from Leminder Field at this point in the journey.
I believe I said 4 days.
Okay.
You guys are 4 days away. There might be a little bit of time tacked on because you're not going at full speed, but 5 days tops.
Okay. Excellent. Okay.
Yeah, as you guys crawl along, Athumbla just devastated.
Fenn is still carving the stand-in crest for Ave for his ceremony, and if Saga wants to do any further adjustments to his armor, she's going to have to do them while he's wearing it because he is tired of not having it on.
Yes, I'll only probably stab you just a few times.
The occasional pinch of a needle.
better than the stabbings he was getting before. So,
I mean, if we had just upgraded the hydraulics in this carriage before we left that old logging town, perhaps we could have avoided this.
I think before Saga starts with the armor, she probably does this pretty often after battles, but goes around and fixes everyone's clothes, like with the mending spells and her needle. She always uses the same needle. It's like a little bit colorful compared to a normal needle. It's got like it seems to be a little different than a regular one, but she'll go around and fix Mama's dress and fix, I don't know, what does Gorbjorn wear? Like a vest?
Shirts? It's mostly like a vest.
A vest. Yeah. It's like every time he gets sleeves, he pulls them off. So
it's always just new sleeve.
Usually it's a vest, but since we're getting more into populated area, he's going to be wearing like the long like underwear shirts that you were wearing in like in the valley.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Cover up more skin. Saga, you make your way around. You eventually get to Ellie, who part of her dress got torn when she was shoved onto the ground, and you're fixing her outfit, and she's looking at you. Okay, I want to clarify because it's a little visually confusing for me. I just want to be sure. You are currently wearing the monikers of 3 gods. And you worship just this one, and she points to the Lady Satyr symbol.
I'm not sure what you mean by. Oh, yes, of course, yes. Bragi, he gave me this. And then Lady Satyr is she's. I almost said my main bitch, but I was like, why would I
say it in Saga's voice? Commit to the bit.
Oh, she's my main bitch.
Lady Satyr, she's my ride or die.
I just see Lady Satyr.
Like,
I guess.
Like the dialogue was coming into my head and that reeled through, and I'm like, wait, what? Excuse me?
Oh no,
that's not who you are.
But you can guarantee that Ellie like totally repeats that. Oh, yeah. My main bitch, yes.
Hell yeah. So this one, and she touches the little metal clip in your hair. So this was a gift from Bragi.
Yes. It was a gift because we're good friends. We kind of got pretty close.
Oh, lucky you.
Yes, he's a very wonderful person. And then, this was a gift from the forest spirit that I told you about. And then, of course, Lady Satyr, my main bitch.
Ah, yes. I've been trying to find, the right one, the main bitch for me.
Right.
I'm still looking. It's like you try something out and you're like, well, that's boring. And do I have to pray every day? And,
Oh yes. Well, I don't think Lady Satyr has very many rules. It's just that you follow the prophecies that she gives you, and they're usually very interesting adventures. So
Prophecies. Yes, you spoke of that. How's that going? That sounds fucking insane.
it's going wonderfully. I think we're almost done with the one that we're on right now. I just need to see some birds, I think, and then we're finished. Oh well, we need to get back to Leminder, but
So you see some galunder birds and you've done it.
yes, and then we'll move on to the next prophecy. I'll do the eye drops, and I'll get the next vision, and then we'll see what happens next.
When do they end? Is there like
W-
an end prophecy or is it just keep going?
I don't think I've asked. I think that Lady, well, no, Lady Satyr is always working to make the world a better place. I think that's what I would assume. So, I just once we're there, then we'll stop.
All right. I believe in you. And she kind of like pats your cheek. And then she goes back to like looking at the road, like, birch. Like,
I was wondering what that one was called.
honestly, I just guessed a tree name. Don't hold me to it. Please
Fair
don't.
enough.
I don't think it's birch. Just
There's
wanted to
a
see if y'all
few-
believed me.
There
I
are a
believe
few sorts of trees around this area I'm less familiar with, but
The birches are the ones with the white bark. You see that one right there?
Right.
That's the main birch right there.
Oh, hell yeah.
hell yes, that would be my main birch.
My main birch, I hate it. Yes, Gorbjorn, could you please take us to a different conversation?
So loading up her cargo onto our cart, could we have seen what she's kind of traveling, like what kind of life she's living?
Yeah. What are you?
Or are they all
up to?
boxed in?
Just rifling
all of-
through her shit, judging her.
Conceal, don't feel.
So all of her belongings are in like large sacks. So it's no boxes, and you can feel when you like pick some of them up, like, oh, this is rice, and different things like that as you carry them over, and it's just like, oh, there's clothes in this one. Gorbjorn, go ahead and roll me perception, and Roshan, I know you were also assisting in carrying. Go ahead and also give me a perception check.
14.
8.
Hell yes. Roshan, you're just focusing on like, I don't want to have to like stop halfway and breathe hard, so I'm gonna just carry this huge bag and focus on that.
It's like groceries. I have to get them all in one. I don't want to
If
make
I don't
several
get
trips.
them all, what's the point?
Yeah.
Gorbjorn.
Roshan is 100% that type.
Oh yeah. Gorbjorn, while you're picking one up, you see it's tied and you like go to like kind of put it up, and in your hand, you're like, rice. And then you squeeze a little to like hold on to it, and you feel that there is something hard in the middle at the bottom.
Hard rice.
Yeah. Big hard rice. Gorbjorn nods. The main rice.
Mama rice.
Yeah, it's where the rice comes off the cob, you know? Like,
Yeah, it's
Oh yes.
I hate rice on the cob. I hated half the conversations that have happened so far. It's all broken. Yeah, but Gorbjorn, you can feel that there's something else in the rice bag. You'd have to like literally set it down and start digging through it to see it, but you know something's there.
I'm dealing with trauma of killing my own kin. So I don't think I have like the mental capacity to go like, oh, let's just dig through other people's shit.
Yeah,
Just
Gorbjorn's
not
like,
feeling it today.
if I was in a better mood, I would dig through this old lady's stuff. But honestly, right now, I'm not feeling it. But you know that little tidbit.
Gorbjorn, what's wrong? You hardly even stopped to rifle through this old lady's things. No, I'm kidding.
One tear. Oh no, my heart's not
I
in it.
rifled through my brothers.
Just sobbing.
Oh
Ugh.
no! Oh.
Anything else from you disasters while you're on the road?
Frank, save us.
The
Frank, come
first day. Not the
Level us,
first day.
balance us.
I would like to have a conversation with Ellie and ask her, So, where is it? You're heading to Leminder Field. Is that your final destination?
Oh, that sounds terrifying. No, I consider myself a bit of a traveler. I don't, I can't settle down in one place.
Lady Sata would like that.
Have to consider her now.
And is there anything special you're doing in Leminder Field?
Well, I usually look, this is going to sound incredibly sad. I'm always keeping an eye out for, old friends. Don't see many, but I'm really good at making new friends, and then I have other people to see later. But I also do a bit of trading sometimes. I have a shit ton of rice. I can't eat all that rice. Oh, speaking of the rice, if you guys want any, you're welcome to it. High quality, the good shit. But ask me and I'll get you some. I don't want 10 people's hands in the rice.
It would be terribly unsanitary.
That's what I think, personally. Like, I'll scoop you some rice if you really want some. So, consider dinner on me tonight. Ooh, when we stop, I'll make you something.
Oh, that would be lovely. Thank you, Ellie.
Yeah, it's been, better part of a week since any kind of home-cooked meal. Even maybe longer?
I've still got some. I still have some pastries in my bag if anyone wants those.
How old are those pastries, Saga? Were they from Hoigercliff?
No, they were from the other town we went to before that.
From Arentoft.
Yes, they
I'm
were from
sorry,
Arentoft.
what was the question? I kind of zoned out aggressively.
We noticed, it's all right.
Goes into the void. What?
I was just talking about the pastries that I had from Arentoft still.
Oh. Oh. She's like imagining the map in her head. She's like, okay. I hope do you still have some?
Yes, they were like a tan color, but now they're like a light green. I don't know if that's the correct way they should look, but
I mean, honestly, 50-50 on that. Because sometimes you can just like peel a layer off of a pastry and it's like, well, this part's good now.
Saga, those might be good for bait if we're trying to catch small game. I wouldn't eat them yourself though.
Unless
Might give you a stomachache.
I'll think about it.
That's all we ask.
Another question, Ellie. Is Athumbla your cow? Is that your faithful traveling companion, or?
Oh, yes. Well, it used to just be me. And I was traveling for a while, and then, lo and behold, there's Athumbla. Just standing in the fucking street. And I'm like, all right. And then I had a cow. It could have been somebody's, but there was, that independent vibe.
I was gonna say, so you stole a random
Did
lost
you
cow?
steal the cow?
I can't promise the cow is stolen or not, but that was like a long time ago, and it sucks to be them, I guess. But they shouldn't leave the cow in the street.
Suppose not.
And how long have you been together?
Ooh, a lady never tells, probably like 20 years.
Oh, wow.
That's a very well-aged cow.
Isn't it? Look at it. It's just this slowly lumbering.
Athumbla is a thing of beauty. And grace.
Curious name. I also know there's a creature of myth, a cow named Athumbla. Is that where she got her name?
Indeed it is. Kind of like when you name your kid something and you're like, hopefully they live up to the name, and if not, they'll change it. So you name the cow the best cow. And then hopefully you get the best cow, which I honestly think I have.
No argument here.
That's completely fair.
I think so.
Does she give good cream then?
you know, that's something you have to find out on your own.
Rose sneaking up on this cow to milk her in
I
the
have
night.
to know.
Can we tell from this cow if it's like is it like a steer or is it a dairy cow or?
I mean, it has horns and it has udders.
Okay, so it is a cow, but so just a default cow.
Yeah, it's pretty basic. It's not like speckled, but it's just a big white
No
cow.
mods.
All right.
No mods on this
A
cow.
plain vanilla, no mods cow.
But it's not like an oryx or something. It's not a giant cow.
It's definitely not a giant cow. It's a big sized cow. It was dragging a cart, but it's not like, oh, that's a big.
That's a
cow.
dire cow right there.
So yeah, it's just a cow. It has kind of horns that go out and then tilt up a little bit at the end, and then it has udders. You know, your
Like a
basic
cow does.
Some could say, some would disagree, but those people are wrong. And she just kind of looks over lovingly at it.
Roshan is interested, but not that interested.
Yeah.
He's never milked a cow, and it's not like interested in trying today.
At like 3 a.m., Roshan just sneaks over to the cow on watch. I have to figure this out.
I swear to God, if Ro gets drunk at any point while Athumbla is in our company.
If you roll poorly on those con saves, you're milking a cow.
You're milking a cow, buddy.
Yeah, the rest of the ride goes basically like this, with Ellie basically sometimes speaking what sounds like near nonsense. Occasionally like fit in with like a fact or two. But eventually it gets closer to nightfall. The day has been uneventful compared to, earlier. You move forward without issue. It's not like you're in an area where there's like an inn or anything, but it's getting close to the time where you'd want to start setting up, start cooking food, get camp together, whatever you guys want to do. Ellie's just sitting in the front.
Well, we're getting rather low on sunlight. Probably about time for us to start looking for a camp space. Fenn, would you mind scouting a little bit? See if you can find somewhere that would be suitable for us.
Sure, no problem. I'll run ahead a bit, and with the pace that we're going now with a cow, I'll stop when I'm ready, and you'll catch up to me eventually.
Can I help?
Just don't go meandering for
Pardon me,
years.
Saga, what was that?
I said, can I come?
Absolutely, come along. I won't be much company. We'll have to keep our eyes on the road and move somewhat quietly. Keep your eyes out.
Stones.
Pardon me?
I need to collect more stones. I'm starting to run out because I'm making all those Lady Satyr symbols for everyone we meet, and I'm starting to run out. So, I mean, if we're going off into the woods, then maybe when we're doing that, I can grab a few.
Well, I'm hoping we won't stray too far from the road, but...
There's probably stones on the road.
All right, wonderful. And while we're traveling, I'll keep an eye out for game birds and rabbit. If this woman has rice, there's a dish, I believe it's halfling, called risotto. I might be able to fix some of that up along the campfire.
Yeah, you two skip ahead. Either give me perception or survival.
Incredible.
As the
risotto
halfling
would
say,
be a halfling.
risotto.
It was
Or
Say 26
type
to
of dish.
26 to survival.
translation: pain in the ass rice.
I mean,
What do you got, Saga?
I only got a 14 perception. My rock searching is not going well on the road.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
You find some rocks, but you're like, they're not pretty, and you'd have to do a lot of work to make them cute. But
there are rocks, just not the best rocks.
they're not the best rocks. You find one that you're like, okay, this is a kind of nice rock, but the rest are fixer-uppers.
Yeah, and the best rocks that I found were the ones when we were on that beach. They were very interesting beach rocks, but these ones are just not gonna cut it.
Well,
not-
once we make camp, maybe we can search around that area into the woods, off the beaten path, as it were, and find something more interesting.
Yeah, it's probably for the best.
You seem to have a knack for finding interesting things. You found a a wind person and a wind spirit, and she led you to a very interesting carved rock. So
Yes. Well, see, the only reason that she did is because I gave her the Lady Satyr symbol, so I better find some more rocks so I can make some more. But plus, I mean, I want everyone to know about it and join.
is that a relationship that one can have with Lady Celia? To ask for favors and receive something in return. Is that something that you do?
Well, no, I mostly just do everything she wants me to do. And then every once in a while when I need some help, I ask for some help, and then she usually does if I've been very good and helpful.
Well, that's wonderful. And she seems to, I mean, you're a very kind person. You mean the best for people. So it's obvious she never asks you for anything that's outside of your ethics. She seems a good god to follow. I'm sorry that it took me this long to come around to it, but I'm sorry. We're a bit of an insular community, and we have most of our interaction is with traders from the outside, and everyone tries to they think we're backwards people. They try to sell us on their false gods and take what they can from the community, and then they're gone overnight. So I beg your forgiveness for my suspicion of you and your goddess up until this point.
No, don't worry about it. Everybody thinks that. I mean, anytime when I go into, they're like, "Oh, who the heck are you?" But I mean, it's nothing new. I mean, the fact that you guys have been so nice to me lately is wonderful.
Well, we're glad to have you along, Saga. Grateful to be sharing this road with someone as good and pure as you, and I cannot wait to hear more about your goddess.
Absolutely, of course.
And don't fear repeating things, because honestly, I hadn't been paying very close attention to begin with.
I mean, that's too bad. But you know what? Stories are usually better the more you tell them. I tend to be better at telling them the more. Maybe it's because of the emphasis changes, but usually they're much more grand after I've told it a few times. So get ready. They're gonna be good.
Y'all get ready for these stories.
Have we found an appropriate place to pull off and set up camp?
Yeah. Easy enough. You guys talk, and as you're walking, it's almost like the it opens up. It's beautiful. It looks like it's a spot big enough for your cart to go off the road a bit, be slightly obscured. Like if somebody was looking, they could see it, but it obscures the cart a good bit.
Is there a stream or anything nearby, or a pond to water the animals at?
You don't see it at the side of the road, but if you went in deeper, it's possible. But currently, you don't see or hear something.
That's something we're gonna have to pay attention to. Saga, that's something we'll have to keep an eye out for in the next day or so. Maybe we can take that hike into the woods once we set up here. But the animals will need water. They can't go further without it. So that's always something good to look out for. But anytime you do set camp near a body of water, you need to be aware that everything needs water. Therefore, it is a hot spot for predators. So be on the lookout for wolves and bears and the like.
Okay. That's...
Keep your eyes open. Sorry, you guys are trying to rally my mom in the chat. I keep an eye out. Yeah, you guys find a good spot. You guys chill. You talk. You give out some nature facts, and probably some nightmares of, and watch out for the bears. And eventually the cart pulls up a few minutes later, and you all are easy enough able to start up, setting up camp. You watch Ellie kind of dig through her stuff, and she pulls out her own like little sleeping bag, which she puts like on the cart itself to like curl up in a little corner. I personally can't sleep on the ground. I always end up like in that spot where there's like a rock and like I can't avoid it.
Oh,
Like
dear.
it's impossible. So I'm just going to curl up right here when it's time to go to sleep. And she walks around. She pulls out a little water skin, and kind of like like waterfalls it at Athumbla. Like, there you go. Blah, 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 blah. There you go.
You know, like the cow do.
And then starts kind of like brushing like dust from the road off of them. But you guys set up camp. You are able to get a fire going, easy peasy. Ellie comes over and she starts cooking a bit of a rice dish. Fenn, easy enough, honestly, if you want to have caught some sort of small game. It's a pretty populated area for little animals. So really no roll necessary, and you already rolled very high. So easy enough to be like, and rabbit, or like and I got it. To which Ellie's like, ooh, and you all talk about risotto. And the night approaches pretty uneventfully. You all are given dinner by Ellie. She's like, here you go. It's been a while since I've had to make, like large portions because there's so many people. And she starts handing it out. Here you go.
Thank you so much.
Of course, I have to repay you somehow. And, I'm pretty sure I do it with my company alone. But I like to tip.
You are truly a generous soul.
Thank you. That's,
Ellie.
not a lot of people tell me that, but, like, I know it to be true.
Ellie, are you a trader or are you a farmer?
Oh, I'm certainly not a farmer. Don't have a green thumb. No knack for it. I mostly go around, do a bit of trading. If I see something interesting, I'll trade for it. Sometimes people are just looking for, some good food, easy trade, get some money, just to fund the travels.
Oh, I mean, rice hardly seems like an interesting thing. I don't see very many rice paddies, but again, it's not the most interesting foodstuffs, and it seems like it might be difficult to load these bags of rice by oneself. Even Gorbjorn needed to take a breather, so transferring these goods from cart to cart.
Roshan certainly did.
Do you find it worth the effort to travel these roads, the effort and the risk to travel these roads by oneself to trade what must be meager margins on grains?
I mean, it's not like I'm trying to, buy a home or, animals or I just need the essentials, and, I think it works well when you have like a reason to travel instead of just going like willy-nilly. So I'm like, oh, I'll just see if anybody wants to do any bartering. And usually for rice, sometimes you can get the occasional interesting thing, and sometimes that's just like a cool fruit, and I'm like, that'll do. And then I have a cool fruit, and if I find something very nice, then I can take it, and then I can trade it for something or more rice. Really depends.
Do your travels ever take you to Briarheart Forest?
Oh, I stick to the road mostly. I don't travel out too far from the road. That's when, even though the road's a bit dangerous, it gets much more dangerous once you head into the woods, though I know it's a pretty good area being near Golunder, but still also hard on cart. So yeah, I'm mostly, a road gal. Sorry, I got a cat claw in the leg.
Oh no!
I'm a road gal. Ah! Just starts screaming.
Her back went out.
Her back went.
Ah! Ooh! I'm good. And she just.
Oh.
She's like,
Oh,
okay,
dear.
there we go. But
And in the past few months, have you heard any word from Galanda or Briarheart? Just among the people that you've interacted with?
Not recently. Like, I've heard things about Galander before. I've stopped through before. Not for incredibly long, but it's a good area. Definitely, I would say a religious hub, but nothing wrong with that. Keeps the people happy.
If you travel a lot, are you sure we haven't met before? I mean, we could have.
I can't promise we haven't. And if we have, that means I found an old friend and I've already accomplished like half the goal.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So we'll say that maybe we met before. She kind of gets up and like waddles over to her bag while people have started to finish eating at this time. Roshan, you watch as she pulls out like a small knife out of her bag. Mm-hmm. Excuse me, honey. She makes her way back over to you, Roshan. Now that we're not on the bumpy road, I could give you a quick trim.
It's fine. I was kind of waiting until we got back to Golunder, and my mom usually cuts it there. So.
Oh, that's lovely. Well, if anybody else is interested, she like waves this knife around.
Jesus.
I've got you covered. And she sits down next to Roshan.
Goodness.
I think it would be kind of hard to cut my hair, but
Yeah, it's a bit hard when it's like as long as your hair, and I use the knife. It's not pleasant, but it's a good cut. I can promise that. Unpleasant, great results.
Oh my.
Yeah, Saga, do you need a haircut?
oh, I usually don't, because I'm so busy with Lady Sator's prophecies, and it would just be a waste of time to sit and wait and get a haircut. But I mean, we're not doing anything now.
I was going to say we're sitting and digesting this fantastic meal.
How much do you want? How much you want off? Just a little trim at the ends?
Well, yeah, because I don't want. I keep things in here sometimes, and I don't want to. It's pretty useful, It's like a utility.
Okay. Show me like
explains a lot.
the length of like an object you'd hide in there, and I definitely won't go shorter than that.
Oh, okay. She kind of she pulls out like this like kind of probably about this long. It's like a glass looks kind of like a vine twig like jewelry piece with little unbloomed buds on it. This is probably the largest thing that I've ever kept in there. But otherwise it's mostly just like little feathers and like beads and stuff.
Of course, I'll just do a little trim, and if you're like, I'm feeling crazy, I'll do more.
Okay.
She starts
boy.
like, it's just
Oh
like,
boy.
he grips it so that it's kind of like put into like a U shape, like holding your hair, and then just starts like sawing at it. So it's not pulling terribly, but it is still certainly pulling. And she's just,
Oh my.
as she starts taking off some of the dead ends. Here we go.
Doing all right there, Saga.
I think she did a good job advertising. That's true.
She's a salesman. Is there anything before bed? I know there's some stuff you guys wanted to talk about. Ellie's currently cutting Saga's hair.
Does anyone have a looking glass?
I can check my pack. I don't think I do, but
Well, Ellie, is there a chance you have a looking glass I could borrow?
There's a time where you stop wanting to like get the whole picture. I could take a check in a moment, but I'm going to tell you I don't think I do. Maybe like a shiny fork, but that's probably it.
No, that's fine. But I just wanted to do a bit of grooming myself, but there's not a chance in the world that I'm going to let you cut my hair. No offense.
Well, men's hair's easier.
No. Mine is not. I don't like to be touched by anyone, let alone strangers. And I don't take that personally. I'm very glad to have you along, but I don't know you very well, and I just don't enjoy being touched.
He's not lying, Ellie.
Very true.
Listen, it's fine.
There.
One thing.
Oh, sure. Go on, Saga.
I just have you asked for something looking glass. I have like a an iron, like I don't know, it's like an iron symbol thing. The back of it might be pretty flat. I don't know if you can see.
All right. Yeah. Let me see. And Fenn's gonna give it a go. With his kukri and this thing, and try to just cut the sides down. Just get it off his ears. He cannot stand having his hair tickling his big old elf ears, and that's his whole objective. He's not trying to be pretty. He's just trying to trim the hair back and not cut an ear off in the process.
Sleight of hand, please.
Okay.
Are you certain you do not want any assistance?
No assistance.
It's a 17.
Okay. It's not bad.
Thank you, level of rogue.
Yeah, no, it goes well enough. It's not like it's like beautifully styled because it's not like the thing you're good at, but you are able to get it away from your ears, and it does not look like your head was caught like in a weed whacker, you know?
Yeah. Fenn has never been, I don't want to say he's never been beautifully styled, but it's never been a concern of his. So
I'm currently not.
Nettle might have like tidied him up when she was around, but like that's the extent of it. Like it's never been a focus for Fenn to make himself pretty.
Yeah, you're able to get a bit of a trim in to get the hair away from your ears. Anything else?
Yeah, Roshan wanted to gather the group and just say, so we're heading to Leminder Field. I think it would be best if we just don't mention Ave at all.
Yes, I rather was thinking that myself.
Our business, if anyone asks, our business is our own, and we are passing through on our way home to Golunder.
Honestly, I may recommend we don't mention Ave's name, and we don't mention mine.
Do I see the look does Fenn see the look that Ellie is giving at the moment?
She's not hiding it. She's like slightly off from the group because she's like behind Saga, but she's like, oh, interesting. And she's like, I gotta pick up my tea real fast. And she takes like a sip, like, ooh, and then goes back to like hacking. But you could see like somebody who's listening in on like a secret, but like trying to be like, ooh, I'm not
some of that good tea
like,
right there.
And just like, oh, interesting. I don't hear anything. I'm just doing the hair. It was kind of the face. As she's like,
So the chief, his name is Strick Herserson, and he doesn't like Ave.
Respected him, certainly. Always respected him. Never liked him.
What is there not to like about Ave? I don't like many people, and I've always liked Ave.
Well, I was his sister. He had a number of unlikable traits. We'll just say that. But
he was fair and he was forthright. What more is there to like about a person?
Generous,
good-natured. I could spend the rest of the night telling you nice things about Ave.
So could we.
I think it's because the chief there is ready and willing to fight, and I think Ave was the opposite. He'd rather talk and come to an amicable solution, whereas Chief Strick
he was
wants
one
to
of
arm
the
wrestle
holdouts. I mean, basically, he was one of the last chiefs holding out against supporting the Jarldom. He did not want to be part of an amicable peace treaty with other villages, and he led other chiefs in revolt against that movement.
Well, would it be best if we spent as little time there as possible then? Maybe find beds for the evening once we arrive and change out horses as needed, or whatever we have that needs to be addressed in town. But I don't see any reason to stay there longer than necessary.
I like our horses.
So do we, Gorbjorn. If they're not too tired.
Gorbjorn,
if they're not too tired.
They're very good horses, and they've served us well, but they need a break. We've been marching with them for weeks at this point, and it's still weeks yet home, and they carry us and everything along with us, and we give them 8 hours of rest a night, and sometimes don't even water them. They may need to be changed out.
It's possible. We'll make arrangements for that and returning them to their proper home.
Just getting used to
Should we wind
me
up
riding
needing to.
them.
The only other thing we need there is to resupply, where we can make it there on rations, but beyond that, unless you want to come with us, Ellie, and share your rice the whole way, we need to pick up more provisions.
We might need more provisions even with the rice, I fear.
I mean, you all are cool or whatever, but I think maybe I plan to stay in Leminder for at least a couple days, so that may be where we part ways, and I have to find me a new cart. Oh, God. You just say,
We'll do what we can to assist you in that endeavor, Ellie. We will. Although, I do believe that it would be best if we only stay the day in Leminder Field. Gorbjorn, did you want to say your piece now?
Yeah, but I wanted to ask you, do you need new name now in Leminder Fields?
Oh, well, I suppose if someone were to ask me my name, it might get sticky. I only mention it because I don't really recall how often Chief Strigg came to Galunda. I don't know that he would know my face, necessarily, but he knew Ave, so he would have known my name by association. So,
You do bear a passing resemblance to Harvey. You can see some family resemblance there.
But no white.
Yeah, it's true. But I suppose I could just wear a hood low and oh goodness, I'm no good with names.
How about Anna?
Or Nina. You could be Nina.
I like that Gorbjorn just like, what if I just
put it in reverse? Hold it up to a mirror.
No front end.
Oh, Anan would be opposite.
Oh, you're right. Anan.
Oh no.
Ann.
Coming.
Oh no. I don't think that would pass muster. But Nina just might work. That will be simplest, yes. If we get to Leminder Field and someone asks for my name, just call me Nina. All right?
Do you have any other acquaintances in Leminder? Either of you, Roshan or Nana?
DM?
Nina.
I suppose we had better get used to practicing that, hadn't we?
So the thing is, you guys probably I'm not gonna go out on some limb and say like, your friend.
Yes, your dear friend.
Your friend that you didn't remember until this exact moment. But you would probably know like of people from here. I don't know, you probably have had interactions with people, especially because Galunda being the hub that it is, people kind of go there in sometimes like a mecca sort of sense. where
Hmm.
people go to have some religious experiences occasionally. And there are people from Leminder Field who come. Also, you guys party hard sometimes, and they're like, hell yeah. So it's a normal spot for people to stop at. So you have met people, no like tight knit friends.
No one I would call a bosom friend necessarily, but certainly
No one we
we've-
could call upon for aid either if we needed it.
I mean, maybe, but that's a very strong maybe. It's been years since I actually saw anybody, I don't think, from Leminder. Might have been maybe one person I knew came through last year, but
Were there anyone
that's
from
it.
Leminder at Arve's wedding?
That is a good question. I guess there would have been people from a lot of the local
Tell us,
villages
Dungeon
and
Daddy.
such.
I mean, the correct and vague answer is yes. People came from all over to see that wedding. And that means certainly somebody from Leminder Field. I would tell you if Hearst's son was there, you would know. So
Yeah.
you know he was not at the wedding, but
Okay.
there were probably people from Leminder there.
Well, Nonna, I don't know how you feel about this, but it's entirely possible that someone might recognize you whether we give you a false name or not. What if we were to change your appearance in some way for the duration of the time that you're there?
Oh,
I
I can
have-
give you a makeover. I can make you a cool outfit, and then she can do your hair.
Yes.
And-
Nana's sort of like just rapidly becoming like, is this where we're going?
It's just
Or you
it
can wear a
would just be
mask.
like using. It would be like using camouflage, when we're hunting.
Yes.
I
Could
have.
give you like a pixie cut. All the girls are doing it now, and by like all of them, I mean I saw like 2 of them, and they looked super cute.
Pixie, is that like the
What?
fairies? What
Yes,
what
you
do
know
fairies
how
look
they
like?
don't have their hair long because it gets caught in their wings in the stories. That's why their hair's short.
Oh,
I am a
actually
hub
that
of
might
information.
be very useful for combat now that I think about it.
Well,
So yeah, let's do it. Yes.
no, I had a, I had a, I had a thought as well.
Yes.
And it might not require you to cut your hair at all. If you left your hood up, you've met elves before. You know people of my village have these markings. And Fenn reaches into his pocket, and he's got a pretty sizable chunk of into his cloak pocket. He's got a pretty sizable chunk of one of those trees from the Valley of Odin, that chalky black tree. I could probably put markings on your face similar to mine. And
Well, we don't
Potential-
need to use that. I've got grease paint
do you know?
as part of my disguise kit.
Everyone's
Why
like,
would you have
Since
I
when
have
have you ever used that, Roshan?
Well,
totally use all
now?
that stuff to make a cool outfit.
today.
it was mostly roses, but I thought it could be useful. Turns out we didn't see people for a long time, so
Well,
it wasn't
that's
useful until now.
There we are. And therein, I suppose, lies the rub. Well,
I mean, if
I
you
mean, I
covered your ears, there's
suppose-
nothing we can. I don't think there's much we can do about your ears to make you look like an elf. But
So
not
But if you
unless
left
there was
your-
some magic.
if you
What?
left your hood up, or we covered your ears, with your hair, and
Those
Want a
options sound
haircut?
much less fun. They sound much less fun.
Listen,
than the
I'm
first one.
excited. Listen, if you want short hair and you said you fight and I got to see you fight, I mean, I also saw you like bleeding a lot. A lot happened today.
A lot happened, yes.
But if you want a short haircut, I would be happy to oblige. Once again, very painful, but you know, outcome beautiful.
Well, you know, I suppose they do say no pain, no gain.
That's what they say.
I don't see why we can't make use of a couple of these, actually. I think that it may work in my favor to have a little less hair under the hood as it is. I can tell you from experience, all this nonsense, and she kind of... And she has a sizable, like, a very, a good head of hair going on here. She's got a good head of hair and a long braid. So this gets to be a bit much underneath a hood from time to time. So, why
Ellie.
not go...
Ellie, might I borrow your knife for a moment? Might I see it?
Wow.
I will let you hold mine while I see yours. And
Honestly, this one would probably be better for cutting through that giant braid.
Fenn's just going to check the sharpness on her blade. Is it sharp? Is this a well-kept knife?
No, it's very dull.
She was using the back.
No, I'm
There's
going
probably-
to sharpen this knife for you before she does this. And Fenn's going to take
I
out
could
his
use the
whetstone.
kookery.
No, don't.
Okay.
That is very sharp, by the way. Be careful with it. No, it's very sharp.
Grandma has a kukri!
I know how to wield a blade. I'm more of a fisticuffs kind of lady myself, but you know,
Give me,
I can beat
allow
any
me,
man in hand-to-hand combat, but you can sharpen my knife.
allow me 20 minutes, and I'll give your knife back. It'll be like brand new. And Fenn's just gonna sharpen her knife, just hone her knife a little bit, just so it's not like dull to the touch.
Oh God!
When Nana gets her haircut.
Poor Saga too.
Yeah,
How are
does my
Saga's ends? Are they more
Are they
split?
worse?
Yeah, no, it's better. It's
Okay.
because the ends of your hair were struggling deeply. It was just all split ends. It wasn't good, but now it's less split ends. So
Hooray!
a
And
net
both of you-
gain.
Is
Both of
it
you have
even?
like absolute mops. Like Nana usually keeps hers braided, right? Like,
Yeah, usually braided, kind of like plaited back in the back.
Mostly even.
but yeah, you've got a good head of hair on you, and Saga is a bird's nest.
Yeah.
It's an untamable mass.
I wish I'd have thought of this before she went at Saga's hair with the knife, but here you go. Here's your knife. Be careful; it's much sharper now.
Whoosh, 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 whoosh. I'm ready.
All
All right.
Be careful with it; it's very sharp. And I'll take mine back, please. That's the only one I have.
All right.
I've already
Roshan,
left one of them.
before she starts, will... Oh, never mind. Just kidding. Don't listen to me.
Okay. Nothing.
Don't mind me.
Nothing.
She's going to go over and she's like, okay, so you want like a pixie cut. You want this shit to not be in your way at all.
Not in my way at all would be a fantastic change of pace, actually.
You hear this you feel like a tug on your head and like a sawing sound, and you are handed a braid of like 80% of your hair. There you go.
Well, yes, you're right. Wow, is that how much hair I have?
And she starts to kind of work out the rest of the braid on top with her fingers, and then she starts cutting at it. It definitely is not as painful as what poor Saga went through.
Oh, poor Saga.
But
she'll have to get a trim up, kind of like even up those ends after.
but she starts working at your hair.
Bleeding.
That's good. Hopefully, same here.
Make a roll.
Gorbjorn, while I'm getting this taken care of, did you want to speak your piece with the rest of the party?
I have one more question. Ellie, do you run into orcs often here?
Well, I haven't gone through here in a while. So I wish I could be more help with your question, but so far in my recent travels, I have 100% on this road ran into orcs. That's currently the statistic I have. Probably the last time I was on the road, I don't think I did, but that was years ago.
Now, did these orcs work the same, or did some have magic on them?
Oh, Gosh, let me go back into my memories.
Excuse me
Goes-
while I kiss the void.
I have to go greet the darkness of my brain. Let's see. Okay. You see her think for a moment. Gosh, I wish I could do better for you. I cannot recall a moment of running into at least here orcs wielding magic, because I've seen it before. There was this one circus which was very cool. But sadly, I don't know.
Unfortunate, but you know.
I ask because now turning to the group, where I'm from, it's 2 days away from here.
Yeah, it's it would be like you could get there by like nightfall on the first day, but that's
Wow.
that's a choice. But it's a bit of a 2-day trek off the path.
So day and a half east is where my tribe is from. This reach, we call it. They're looking for pieces of gods, trying to corrupt themselves in a sense. I don't want to go back, but seeing this map on these orcs, it's making me confused more. Spooky. Making more confused of if they've separated or if they've died, and I'm kind of curious what has happened to my kind.
So what are you asking? Are you asking to go and investigate now before we get to Leminder, or to...
We are escorting this fine Ellie and Cow.
I was like, "Meh."
I say we finish that, but I request that we at least stop by and sneak on it.
Well, we've got some other obligations, as you're aware.
Although it may be that it might be dangerous if we don't at least take a look and make sure that something quite risky was not unearthed by these orcs at this village, or that might have been found by someone else.
What
If it looks, Go
what
ahead.
does finding out if they've done something risky do to help us? It sounds like if they've done something dangerous, that could be putting us at risk, and we have very clear instructions about what we need to do now. I want to help you, Gorbjorn, but personally, I don't think it's the right time. I think we should wait until after we make it back to Golunder.
Gorbjorn, honestly, if it were my decision, and it's not, I would suggest that you and I go and scout and see what there is to see and rejoin the party. But unfortunately, we have obligations ahead of us that require all of us to be there. By Dagwood's instruction, require all of us to be there. Nana, can we help Gorbjorn? Do we have time to do so?
Nina.
He is...
Nina.
Definitely good to start practicing. But yes.
Do we have time? Gorbjorn has done so much for us. We're here. In your opinion, can we help him now, or do our other obligations need to take precedent over?
We were saying that the distance from Leminder Field to the Reach was about a full day's trek. Is
Yeah.
that what I'm remembering?
About a day and a half to get there, not arriving at nightfall. I'll also give you a bit of lay of the land, just so Nana goes map brain.
Yeah, Nana does tend to do that. Like, whoa.
So where you are currently is pretty close, is the kind of the closest way to get to it. You can continue to Leminder, and then if you go there straight from Leminder, it's a sort of longer angled trek to get back. It's a bit of backtracking. But if you continue towards the next town, Olsver, help! Yelp! It was like a backwards, like rewinding cassette. Olafsveller. If you start heading that way, there is a point where you, not as close as here, but where there's just a bit of a, like, we could cut inwards off the road and take a detour. Probably at least now a 2.5 trek to get there, adding just another day to the trek. But it is still continuing on your path, and then you end up pretty kind of close to Olafsveller and can kind of cut back in again. So it's a detour, but currently you're still over a week away from getting to Golunder. There is still a trek ahead of you.
Yeah. It's not like we're right around the corner from Golunder at the present moment, and if I remember my maps right, I think that there would be a spot just after we pass through Leminder Field where we'd be able to make a fairly brief detour to the Reach and then make our way onward to the next village on without very much time at all added. Perhaps day and a half, 2 at the most.
I'm fully in favor of helping Gorbjorn. I'll let it be known what my true opinions are. We've stopped and spent plenty of time helping perfect strangers who we owe no obligation to. We owe very much to Gorbjorn. He's been our dear friend before we even set out on this journey, and we owe him more now. If he wants to find out about his family or where he came from, his tribe, sorry, Gorbjorn, to call them your family if that's not what you're comfortable with. If he wants to know about his tribe and we're here, we might as well do that. And if that means that we let Roshan, Saga, Tordrick stay in Leminder, and Nana, you and I accompany Gorbjorn just to see, because that's what he says he wants to do, is to scout it, then maybe that's what we should do. But Ave's affairs are most pressing. I think we can all agree. We've given our words to that. But what we can do for Gorbjorn is of additional importance, is not to be taken lightly. We spent weeks in Erentoft. We spent plenty of time, longer than we needed, in a shithole town on the whatever place we just left that was sucky. That
Hoiga Cliff.
Hoiga Cliff, yes.
Hoiga Cliff.
Fuck that place. I hate it.
You guys were also, I know it was technically weeks to us, but you guys were only there for a handful of days in
Erentoft.
Yeah. Okay. So
emotionally, it was weeks.
Emotionally, it felt
Emotional
like weeks.
I felt like I was there for years.
Yeah, I think it was probably at least a week in game. I would think, right? Because there was, we had to do.
It was under a week. I know that to be true, but it does not matter.
Okay, all right, that's fine.
At any rate,
we spent a good deal of time in all of those places helping people, some of whom we needed their help in return, others who shuffled us out of town after giving us very little other than cheap swill for ale in return.
They
but,
gave the best they could, in fairness.
but Gorbjorn's given much, much more to us than that, and if we can help him in some way, I suggest that we do. That is where my opinions are, and Nana, you lead us. Do with that what you will.
You know.
You're not really catching on, Fenn. You need to start.
He has it written on his hand. This is my friend Nina.
Nanner.
Banana.
My
Banana.
friend 9. I
Should we all
mean,
get false names? Should we all have nom de plumes or pseudonyms? Should we? Would it be more fun that way? Would it be easier to remember if we all had false names?
I think multiplying the problem makes it even harder.
I was about to say, let's keep the moving parts as few and simple as we possibly can. But
Very well. I'll try. I promise to do my best.
that's all we ask.
I don't know what I mean. I've seen what Fenn says about it, but of course I'm working to help Lady Zader, but I like helping everybody else too, and I don't think Lady Zader would be that unhappy if I got off the trail a little bit. And I really like you, Gorbjorn, and then if this helps, and I mean, family is really nice, and like if I knew where my family was, I'd want to go see them. I mean, even if they weren't very nice. So, I'm okay going.
Not to impose upon some other entity beyond to speak for Tordrict, but
He fell asleep.
Nana, absolutely. Oh God, yeah, he's face first.
I didn't even think it was a question. I'm in.
That seems fair. All right then. Roshan, do you still think what you thought at the start of the conversation?
I do, and I sincerely apologize, Gorbjorn.
I don't think there's any harm in additional caution, but for my peace, I think that Ave would go. So, for me, I think we ought to make our way to Leminder Field as planned. If anyone wishes to stay, while Gorbjorn and Fenn and myself go and scout out, that is fine. But if everyone would like to continue on, then, as I say, I think a short way down the road past Leminder Field, there should be not quite a shortcut, but certainly a decently short sidetrack that should get us to the Reach, and then from there, back on our path without very much difficulty.
I'll follow you, Nina. See, it's not that hard.
Oh, you're talking to Nana. Oh, sorry. I was trying to figure out who you were talking to. Damn it. I'll get this one of these days.
You feel
You
one
certainly will.
cut against your hair, Nana,
Mm-hmm.
and you are left with a very sleek. As she watches you, like she pours a little water in her hands and like kind of slicks back the top of your head, like hey. And you are left with a very not in the way haircut.
Oh,
Does it
I
look
can
like
feel the
Fenn's?
wind on my scalp.
Does
No,
look
it,
like
it
Fenn's?
definitely has a bit of a different look to it.
Okay.
It is not mirroring your haircut.
All right.
As she kind of sits there and fiddles with it, and she like, you know, when the hairdresser like looks at you and then like kind of shags up your hair again and is like, and like moving pieces, she's playing around with it. And with that is where we are going to take our 10-minute break. We will jump back into things. You guys go grab a snack. You know, emotionally prepare yourselves because things are going real good. Why would that continue? Maybe it will. Beach
Who knows? Help!
So thank you guys for being here so far. We'll be back in 10 minutes and we'll get going again. 10 minutes.
Thank you, team.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to On the Backs of Gods. We just took ourselves our quick little break here. The party had spent a lovely evening with Ellie. Got to have some conversations. Nana got a nice haircut, became Nina. You know, they took off
glow
her
up.
glasses and took out her ponytail, and it's like, wow.
Wow.
But the party settled down for a bit, talked about their plans for the future. Gorbjorn asked of the party to take a bit of a detour to check in on his where his tribe is from, and with a mostly unanimous vote, it seems that will be the choice after going to Leminder. Ellie casually listening to all this, very chill, working on her job. It's just like the hairdresser that's listening to you on the phone, like, I'm certainly not taking any of this in, but I will talk to it later to my husband, you know.
My husband, the other cow.
Yes. They get there, they meet another cow, and she's like, oh, there you are. My beautiful husband cow. This is a cow, just my friend.
Cowsband, if you will.
This is our relationship is platonic.
Animal husbandry.
I don't like it. Boo.
No. Oh God.
But yeah, you guys got a
heard
good
what I
meal,
said.
had a nice conversation, figured out sort of your game plan. Happy or not, it seems to be what the goal is currently.
I just had one thing to ask Ellie before we go to bed, and that is, now Ellie, you said you weren't a narc.
I did. I specifically said that.
I would hope that we've treated you kindly enough that you keep these things quiet. I'm not asking you to lie for us, but if you've heard it tonight, please don't repeat it.
As you've stated, not a narc. I certainly will not talk about your long travels in an unpopulated area for an extended period of time, or your dear friend Ave and where he may be currently, and about people's origins in the woods and relics and what have you, and, you know, pretending to be other people. No, that's just all for me.
You and Athumbla only.
Oh, I can't promise Athumbla won't tell anybody. A bit of a chatterbox, and it's just a cow sitting there eating grass. Just silently eating grass. Yeah, I can't promise Athumbla, but honestly, I really don't have anybody to tell.
Well,
Saga does a little minor
moving on.
illusion of Athumbla being like, "Hi, I'm gonna tell everybody.
I'm gonna tell you secrets.
I'm gonna tell you."
I'm gonna tell your secret.
And I am a narc. I'm called
Yeah.
An utterly deplorable snitch, if you will.
Don't, how dare you?
How dare you.
Would never tell secrets on purpose. It's always an accident.
They always get her drunk at the creamery.
Well,
That's the same for
I'm
me.
going to have a bit of a smoke, and then I'm going to pass out. And Ellie goes and she pulls out a little container of already pre-rolled cigarettes, and she just kind of sits on a log and just vibing. Yeah, she's not here to narc on you if you don't narc on her, is basically the setup.
Wonderful. That gives me an idea. Excellent.
Anything before bed? It seems like you guys got a good bit of your convo out for your game plans.
What sort of season is it where we are right now?
Late fall.
Late fall. Okay. Within about 300 yards of camp, I'm going to go foraging. No guarantee that I find anything, but what I'm looking for specifically is I'm looking for amanita mushrooms, fly agaric mushrooms. because
Could you tell me about said mushroom, just real quickly?
they're bright red. They have white spots on them. When you think of fairy tale toadstools, that's what you're thinking.
Does it get
of.
you high, or does it kill you, or is it benevolent?
It gets you high.
Okay, that's all I needed to know. Is it high, death, or nothing? Is tasty drugs or death? Which is it?
No, they're pretty easily identifiable. They get you high. They're a hallucinogen. I imagine they have some sort of street value, and Ellie seems like a hippie.
You
and
want to
even
buy
if they,
some shrooms, Ellie?
no, even if they're not her cup of tea, as it were, like they would be of value to her if she wanted to sell them.
Roll survival.
All right.
Let's see if this obscure mushroom is here today.
13.
You end up, it's not what you're looking for. You find you kick over a log and you find some mushrooms in the edible department.
Okay.
But you don't find them in drug or death department.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take them. I'm gonna keep an eye out for those bright red fly agaric mushrooms as we make our way, but they should be pretty easy to identify. But yeah, they've got value.
Okay. Perfect.
But yeah, the ones we can eat are great too, because anything that's remotely fresh to eat is great.
So here's the question. Are you guys doing watch? Are you making a bubble? No bubble? What's up?
I'll take watch.
I'll take I'll take watch for as long as I can. I just need the 4 hours to meditate.
Go watch.
I mean, the question is, more bubble or no bubble?
I was planning on no bubble.
Okay.
For now.
I just need
I
to.
don't think we need it necessarily.
We got carts and a cow. That probably won't fit in it.
Yeah.
I have to put my whole cow in the bubble. It's a thing.
Amazing.
My mom's parting words. Goodbye, peeps. Jillian, behave. I think words to live by.
Words to live by, indeed.
As all of you in shifts drift off to sleep. I'm not going to ask you guys for your order, which means pretty apparently the night goes by. Gorbjorn, I'm sure there's a bit tense taking watch and then having to go to sleep, probably more so. Mm-hmm. But the night passes uneventfully. There is now the new sound of Ellie and a cow snoring. That is a new sound that now accompanies you, but the night, not a problem. Quiet, very quiet. The next morning comes, you all pack up, and you start going again. Unless somebody stops me, I'm pushing ahead 4 days.
The only thing I'm going to be doing is looking for rocks during the trip.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a perception check, and I'll give you advantage.
Yeah, I would like to help.
Days.
I would like to help. So yeah.
Or, you have advantage. Tis what I give to you. A gift.
Graciously.
Thank you so much.
Bless you. Thank you, dear.
Everyone nodding. Thank you.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Amen.
Ah, blessing.
A blessing from the one on high.
Oh,
The mad god.
What'd you get?
23.
You fail.
What? I find no rocks.
Oh no!
You make your way
Remember?
forward and you see a beautiful rock.
No, don't do this.
And you start reaching towards it, and the cartwheel runs right over it, as if it were snatched from your hand by fate.
For 4 days? If 4 days?
Take that as a very fair payment for your
You
necklace.
find some okay rocks, but you see the granddaddy of rocks, and it gets destroyed under the cartwheel.
Oh.
Well, it must not have been that great if it just got destroyed under a cart.
No, what a shitty
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nana's like,
How
yeah,
dare that
Saga's
rock.
like, yeah, it's a shitty rock. It wasn't even
Yeah,
good.
Saga was like, started like tearing up, and then I was like, it couldn't have been that bad.
It's probably not even good. It was just beautiful and perfect. Fenn, I know you wanted to check out for some mushrooms. Go ahead and roll me perception. I'll give you advantage. Did anybody else want to do anything besides listen to Ellie talk, which is going to be 90% of the trip? Yes, Nina?
Two things that will happen during the trip. At whatever points the relevant party members are actually in the cart and able to pay attention. Nina will be quizzing Fenn on her name and what we're not going to talk about.
Saga's like listening in the background and answering some of the questions wrong.
Fenn is splitting his attention between doing this, and he knows he's got to pay attention to Nina. So he only got a 13 on his perception check.
Yeah, you find a plethora of some edible mushrooms, but that's about it.
All right,
so
Fenn's gonna take the edible mushrooms. He's gonna add to the rations because mushrooms are delicious. But
Yeah, they are.
But yeah, none of the ones he's looking for because he had to pay attention to Nina.
Just so that we don't shoot ourselves in the foot. The other thing.
Oh, before you go, my favorite bit about that is that it is a beautiful moment of like characters doing this, but doesn't depend on a single role. It just depends on casual conversation. So we'll see in the future. Hopefully all the practice pans out. And what's your second thing, Nana?
My
Nina.
second. Yes.
It doesn't matter what I say.
This is out of
It's
character.
true. Nobody else gets to hear the
I'm
DM
not going to
except
end
for
up getting
us.
anybody killed. I mean, continue? What?
The second thing is going to be coordinating with Roshan and or Saga, whomever's available, whenever, about what she should be doing for her disguise, going up into Leminder Field, and maybe kind of like trying to figure out if like the elvish markings might help, or maybe they would be kind of obvious if she's not wearing clothes that obviously look like they came from an elvish town. This is the kind of thing she's spitballing during the trip rather than when we get there.
Well, it could
The
be
door,
tattoos.
like, oh shit.
They might be tattoos and not markings, natural markings of an elf. You could just be an elf enthusiast. We call them weebs in our community.
I see. The storied weeb.
Well, that's been on the backs of gods. Yeah, Nana,
I get to say it because I am one.
You get to talk to Saga and Roshan. Saga being very excited about a makeover, and Roshan having a big disguise kit that you just found out about. Is there anything you two would like to say and or add to this, or just like put your hood up and put on some eyeliner? You're great.
Smoky eyes and a dark lip totally change your personality.
Roshan can do her makeup, and then I'm gonna give her like a cool shirt and trouser look. So it's like, yeah.
Yeah, you guys.
'Cause she was wearing a dress before, so this is
You
it's
just
not
stick
like
the dress in the center, and you're like, pants.
No, honestly, like that is what I explicitly wanted Nana's skirt to be. Because sometimes she needs to roust about in the underbrush as a ranger. She needs to be able to stitch that closed real fast so she can run and not trip over her dress skirts.
I just cut her dress in half and then stitched the skirt together, and I'm like, yes. It's beautiful.
Surely you've seen her cinch it up before, though. You know it's convertible.
Well, that's what happens. No, I probably know what it looks like. I'll make it
I would
great.
hope.
We lost our DM.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Make
now
it so
stylish gauchos.
Perfect. Gauchos, 10 out of 10.
Amazing.
That's the words I heard. It is done.
Ellie, before we get to town, you're traveling trader. I'm just wondering, just out of curiosity, nothing important. You run across many wood elves in your travels?
Oh, I'm pretty sure. I don't, as I said, I don't go off road, but that doesn't mean there's not wood elves chilling about towns. I've seen a good handful, a few.
My
Recently, not like an incredible amount.
I have a sister, a bit older than me. About 30 years older than me. She's looks quite a bit like me, and her hair's cropped short like Nina's is now. And she's got dappling, just dots instead of stripes. Her name's Juniper. Just wondering if you might have seen her in your travels. She works as a trader now. She travels between cities. She just I just haven't seen her in a few years. It's not unusual. She usually isn't home for several years, but wondering if anyone had run across her.
All of you think that I have just this really good memory, and I wish I did. I like that you all think I do. I'm not going to say the description doesn't sound somewhat familiar, but there are a few elven traders. So I will say I have, in my travels, seen a female elven trader, but I cannot say specifically if it is Juniper.
Okay, no, it's no problem.
Yes, everybody ask me about your friends, yes.
Saga.
No. Can I make a check to see if I have met her
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
on my travels?
It's going to be a luck check. It's just straight up luck.
Just roll d20.
Yep.
Natural 1.
Oh
Nope.
no!
Never
Face
met
is
her.
like,
Doesn't even ring. You're like,
Absolutely not.
have I
Well,
ever seen a female elf?
This
Well,
totally
Saga-
tracks because I don't know
Saga
anything
might
about
have
elves.
met her, but doesn't remember her because Saga is
That-
missing like half of her life in memory. So
Yeah, maybe.
But she says she hasn't. She does not. She could not specifically say with certainty if she has or has not seen your sister.
no,
As
it's
she's like,
no problem. It's not that she's missing. It's just that her work doesn't bring her home very often. And I was wondering if anyone could tell me if she's well or not.
well, if I see her now that I have somewhat of a picture in my mind, and I'm going to just approach female elven traders and ask if they're Juniper. And if they are, I'll say, hey, how about you send a letter home or something, you know? And
she's-
we'll see if that works out.
She stops home every 2 to 3 years. It's not that she's missing. She's just not around as much as she was when we were young. And that's
I'll tell her to write or, come by for the holidays or what have you. Bring a nice gift from the road, a little straw goat, you know. The fun gifts to bring home.
understandable.
strong.
Does anyone still bring straw goats home? Thought that was a thing of legend. Is it?
Oh, I love straw goats. I wish people did more straw goats. Honestly,
Well,
bring back straw goats.
Absolutely, I think they're adorable. I like the other animals too.
Ooh, let's just start. Maybe I'll get in the straw animal business.
Oh, that's a very good idea. If you could dye them different colors, I think people would really love.
Ooh, see, I'll write that down. Yeah, if I have any free time, I'll be like, okay, do this. But I have to drive as well, so.
Oh yeah, you wouldn't want to straw and drive or anything like that. I don't.
Of course. You can't straw and drive. It's against the law. It's not safe.
Exactly.
Saga, do you know how to make corn dollies? Have you ever
Oh,
seen corn dollies?
It's been a million years. Good God. I could probably
you're that-
try.
Well, Saga, no, here, I'll show you on the way. And Fenn's just gonna go take some, he's gonna, whatever long grass and reeds and stuff that he can find along the way, he's gonna hack, and he's gonna show Saga how to tie straw dollies, how to make corn dollies, which would be season appropriate, actually, if we're in the autumn. We're not a harvesting community. We don't grow very many crops, but these seems to be important in some of the places that I've seen, and the traders are always trying to sell them to us. See these? They're little dolls made of grasses. They're cute. Children enjoy them.
That's adorable. Saga will like try to make them, and she is surprisingly good at it. Like, she
That
seems
makes
to know
sense.
how to do it already. But she's like, I've never even seen this. This is amazing. I don't know why people don't make these more often.
You guys just have a bunch of little straw dolls now. You're like, we need more straw dolls. From anybody else, anything on your travels to Leminder with your dear friend Ellie? Yes, Gorbjorn.
Can I look for like any signs of like a camp or any of like other orc bandits in the area?
Yeah, you can either, you know what, I'll give you the trifecta. Perception, investigation, or survival. Whichever one makes you happiest.
Advantage or no?
I'll give you advantage.
15 total.
Okay. You're keeping a good eye out. Nothing strikes you that fits with what you're looking for. You see the occasional, like, kind of old remnants of a camp, but it's more similar to what you guys have and would be more like of a person just stopping on the side of the road with their cart.
Oh yeah.
But you don't see anything more specific than that. Okay. Leminder Fields. Very fun. You guys prepare as you approach. Nana, you are swarmed by your fashion team, who kind of zhuzh you up with makeup a bit. And you kind of put your hood up, and it's like, okay, I'm Nina now. The full transformation. Roshan, I'd love to know how you're doing. And if I say, could you give me a number? Could you tell me what that number is? After 4 more days have passed?
Yeah, the number is 5.
Wow. Right to the dot on that. Very close. Roshan getting antsy as shit. Like, That's only a day and then the morning. Like one more day and a morning. But you all arrive at Leminder Fields, and it's weird. And you hear Ellie go, huh? When you arrive, it is full-on revelry. People are drunk as shit. There's fighting in the streets.
The good kind of Nordic fighting, right?
That's it's not like, it doesn't seem like angry fighting. It does not seem like everybody's just like, to the streets, see you at noon.
Feels good Vikinger fighting.
But there is just it looks like the streets are full of people. People are fighting, drinking. There is just a lot of merriment, and just there's people like, you can see that there's like flowers put up and twisted like straw wreaths, and it's kind of like a beautiful chaos painting of just what you'd imagine a Viking party being, just condensed into the streets of Leminder. And that is just, it's like a sea of people fucking losing it. Fucking
they're popping off harder than the wedding. Goodness.
As you all arrive, and it's just crazy. Ellie's like, shit. I am not turned enough for this at all. Was not prepared.
Oh boy. Is this some sort of festival that we've forgotten about?
That's nothing I can think of that's relevant. Maybe they have a specific one, but
Is it Samhain?
not one I know of. No, not yet.
Peculiar.
This, I don't know, maybe they just like to fucking lose their minds occasionally. Which, you know what, honestly, I can get behind that.
I think it's a good thing to clear out the system every now and again.
Yeah, you guys are going at a snail's pace trying to get the cart through town. It is just like a dude gets like thrown out of a doorway, and just like 2 other people like jump on him, and they're fighting, and then there's people like making out in an alley, and there's just like chanting and screaming and songs and dance, and it is just, it is a whirlwind of celebration in Leminder.
Can we get anybody to give us directions to the inn?
Excuse me? Somebody
we
flies
just
by.
want-
Pardon me?
Pardon me.
Somebody
Hello,
passes
could you?
out. You are able to eventually get enough information vaguely from people who slur speak to you. Like, and the guy falls over. And then another person gets decked while you're talking to him. But you are pointed in the direction of a tavern inn setup called the Jest and Rest. Which is full to the brim of people getting completely shit-faced. It is like full of people. Like it would be like jungle scenes where they're like pushing through vines to like walk through. Like that's what it would be like to go through the tavern.
Oh my god.
But you guys are currently parked outside of it, and Ellie's like, hell yeah!
I suppose we should at least see if we can have the cart and horses put up somewhere.
Yeah.
If we can find anybody who's sober enough to do it, I guess.
Good luck.
I don't really like
That's
this
sort of
one.
what I was thinking.
You watch somebody run out of the tavern, just gets barely to an alley and just vomits. And then falls over. And you just hear, woo, softly from him from the ground.
I almost want some of what he's having.
That doesn't seem fun
Almost.
at all.
I mean, in the moment.
I don't think that.
Audra, can you please teach her how to drink?
Oh,
I'd rather not.
yeah. Listen, when you're ready, I will be here for you. This may not be the place. You already see Tordrick starting to get off the cart. Like, he's already halfway off. Like, listen, next time maybe that'd be a good idea. And you watch him just
Right now.
out of the cart. I could go ask inside, maybe get us some rooms, you get a drink, see if there's a place to put the cart. I'll be inside. Tordrick easily weaves through the crowd like he's in his like natural element.
Because he is in his natural element.
It's very true.
Saga, have you ever had mead?
Well, I mean, Tordrick has let us try quite a few of the things that he has. I just don't really,
He's had ale and whiskey, but I think you might enjoy mead. We'll see if we can find you some while we're in town. It could be fun.
It's a very mild wine made from honey.
Oh, I like honey.
I thought you might.
This is fucking bonkers.
Yeah, this is this is insanely huge.
Gorbjorn, if could I I'll go find us some provisions. Could I borrow some coin to and I'll meet you back here.
Do you want any assistance? You might need it just getting through the street.
Sure, if someone wants to come with.
I'll come.
Okay.
What sort of people do we see around town? Are they humans, elves, dwarves,
Roll
halfling?
insight. Roshan and Gorbjorn, you're gonna split from the group, and Wade, it's like almost like swimming on top of people. It's like, okay, all right.
Gorbjorn needs to do a Fezzik. Everybody move!
Yeah, Gorbjorn just puts his arms just like forward, like in a plow position, and just passes forward.
Doing that like sideways walk where like my hands out forward and just like moving them side to side.
The quarterbacker.
Roshan, you follow closely behind to not get consumed by the crowd.
You want an insight? I got an 8.
It is an anxiety-inducing throng of people. That's what it is. Roshan and Gorbjorn, anything in particular? You're just making your way towards something that might be a shop.
Yeah, keeping my eye out for any shady back alley fellas.
Yeah, go ahead and roll me perception.
Can I help him?
Sure. You're like, yeah, let me help you find some shady boys.
19.
Hell yeah.
Rose got those laser eyes for back alley boys.
So first off, Roshan, you clock a general store. You're like, okay, so there's a general store. I know where that is. You start to look around, and it's hard to find like spots. So you start kind of looking at people's faces, and you're like, there's a bit of a difference between, you know, intoxicated and being high. And you start looking across people's faces, and it kind of leads you a bit in a direction. And I'm going to tell you, you find somebody who you think looks shady enough to possibly be able to help you as you make your way through the crowd.
Sir or madam?
Oh. What are your pronouns?
Excuse me. Can I buy some drugs?
This guy turns around and he looks to you. And you can see he looks pretty smashed. But you think more towards drunk. Hey, how can I help you?
Yeah, holiday special. Looking to get a little bit of, and then like lower my voice dramatically. Onset.
What?
Looking for some onset.
I'm sorry. One more time. Everybody's fucking yelling.
Get right up in his ear. It doesn't matter if he smells like rancid booze.
I'm not gonna scream it very loud, but I will get up next to him and just say onset.
Yeah. Well, it kind of depends what you're, you know, how much you're interested in. Because, you know, a day of revelry, it's been a bit busy.
How much do you have?
I have 20 grams.
Is that 20 doses?
Yes.
Oh, that's not enough.
He's looking at your face, but honestly, I don't have more on set, but I do have some other stuff.
Just looking for onset right now, thanks. Does 2 gold sound fine for...
He starts laughing.
It's not funny.
Listen, it's gonna be 8 gold for 20.
Okay. Is there anyone else in town?
That'd be stupid if I said there was, right?
Suppose you're right.
This is, I'll say onset is kind of the choice of the people. So it's a bit harder to get, bit harder to keep in stock, I should say. But like I said, there's better stuff out there.
Not looking for better stuff just this second. But thanks.
All right. He holds out a hand.
I'll take 8 gold pieces, leaving my coin satchel very light. And give him 8 gold pieces.
You give him 8 gold pieces, and he gives you 20 grams, which is 20 doses.
All right.
I just like the idea of Gorbjorn just a little bit behind, like, none of my business.
he's just going off talking to him, and I'm like kind of looking at the crowd, going like, "Don't fight me!"
Like somebody runs up to like start a fight, and you just kind of like bow up, and they're like, "All right," and they just
I'm not that
like
drunk.
somebody bumps into me, it's like, "Watch where you're going." Just like looks into the mask of it, it's just like, "Fuck that!" Like,
not worth it.
Nope. Not drunk enough.
So now that we're acquainted, what the hell is going on in here on this day?
No. Honestly, shocked you haven't heard. I mean, it's pretty recent.
Yeah, we just got to town today.
Yeah, Hersher's son's dead.
Oh. Celebrating his passing or celebrating that he's dead?
I feel like that's the same question. We're celebrating his life. It's what he would have wanted, you know, the old ways.
Yeah. It's good to hear you're celebrating for positive reasons, not the opposite.
Oh no, Hersher's son was a great leader. It's a fucking pity.
It sure is.
Funeral's tonight though, so I guess you arrived just in time
We sure did.
for funeral prices on these drugs, which is honestly a lot higher.
Damn it. All right, Gorbjorn, are you ready to go find some provisions?
Yeah.
What you getting? That not provision?
I just like Gorbjorn's like, none of my fucking business. I'm here to not fight anybody. Yeah, you two go out and actually can acquire rations. Rations are a copper. So do with that as you will. Or do with as you will later. But you once again have to just swim through the crowd as you make your way. Gorbjorn like parting the sea. Meanwhile, back at the tavern, you guys are sort of like beached on the island that is your cart. It'd be like you'd have to dive into a swimming pool of people just to be part of it and then move.
I just don't want to move the cart or leave the cart because I don't know what's a parking space and what isn't.
Is this a parking spot? Am I going to get a ticket? Where am I? I can't see.
Fenn is very explicitly keeping his hand on the lead to the cow and making sure that none of these drunks like climb on the cow and try to lead it off somewhere. Like he knows drunks like to climb on cows and try to ride them. So like,
dudes are trying to climb on this cow 100%.
Yeah. Fenn's like poking him in the eye with the end of his bow, like just like whatever discourages them.
Eventually, you kind
Spritz
of
him with
see
some
like
water.
a bit of a part in the group of people, and then you watch Tordrek pop up and like pull himself back onto the cart. Okay,
Amazing.
I got us some rooms. Lucky for us, a lot of the people here are just the people in town. So there are a couple rooms available. Ellie, I went ahead and got you a room, and if not, I have a room to myself.
Hey.
She's like, hell yeah.
And what of the cart and the horses and our wonderful cow friend?
Yeah, there seems to be a spot behind the inn where we can set up. I can't promise that it's great, so I don't know if we want to leave our supplies in the cart or possibly take them up into the room.
Well, we have supplies that need remain on the cart.
Why does it need to remain on the cart?
Do you think that the people here would be receptive to us hauling a large box of supplies into the inn?
I mean, there's an awful lot of revelry going on out here. We wouldn't want for our supplies to get knocked over or misplaced. Or, heaven forbid, some drunkard piss on it.
I don't see an issue, me personally, carrying our supplies inside.
All right, that's fine.
So
then.
long as we keep it quick and quiet, I think we should be fine.
Yeah, nobody's gonna ask questions, and if they do, we said it was what? Mice?
Yeah.
Whatever y'all are feeling.
Yeah, you know.
You see that, in Gorbjorn and Tordrek's offhand, he already has a drink. He's like,
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, I'm going to get the cart, the horses, and the cows put up. Suppose if anybody wants to come around the back and help me with supplies and whatnot, that would be helpful. Saga, if you want to, you can, or if you want to find a shop, find some nice trinkets. might be a good opportunity. Just don't go too terribly far from the inn. You can tell it's quite busy here. We wouldn't want for you to get lost.
Yeah, well, we're only spending just a day here, right?
Yes, more or less.
Okay, well,
Saga,
I
if
might as
you-
well get that done with.
Go ahead, Saga. I'm sorry. I was going to say if you would like to help Nina and I get our cargo inside, I'll accompany you to the shop.
Okay, that's probably better.
Yeah, probably best if we don't go off on our own with things being as busy as they are right now. Good gracious. Don't look at what that man's doing down that aisle, Saga. Let's just
Where's his
move
pants?
around the back.
Where's his pants?
Don't look, Saga. Don't look. It's all right. It's all right.
Tordrek has already placed keys strategically in people's hands, and then just sort of morphs back into the crowd and is gone.
Thank you, Tordrek. You're a magnificent cleric.
Easy enough for me to say that you guys go set up your stuff. You see that there's a dude who's supposed to be working there. He is incredibly shit-faced. He is at his mark. He's at his job, but he is shit-faced. He's like, horse.
Thank you very much.
Do you mind if I try something? Nina, do you mind if I practice something we've been working on?
All right, have a go.
Shopkeep, barkeep.
What?
My change, please. Change owed us for our rooms.
This man sitting out by the horse stable squints his eyes at you.
How shit-faced is he?
He's pretty shit-faced, but he's also knows he is not a shopkeeper or a barkeep.
Sorry, I didn't know
not
the
been
title
given
to the-
any money.
I did. Okay, all right. Never mind.
He is it's too late. But this guy's so drunk. He's like, nobody gave me any money.
Oh, must be our mistake. We're sorry then.
You are forgiven. And he puts the card inside, and just kind of leans his head against a horse and is just petting it, and he's like, "Hello." But you guys are able to pick up the contents of your cart, and it's a bit difficult. It is slow moving to get back to the entrance of the tavern with you carrying this thing. But you're eventually able to get inside. You get to your rooms. They are pretty small. It seems to be about 3 beds a room. So you guys have 2 rooms, and then Ellie seems to have her own room of some sort. But you guys are able to put Ave in one of the rooms.
All right. Good. Just so long as he's not out and about amidst the revelry, I'd feel better.
Yeah, that's probably for the best.
I think so. Thank you both for all your help. I can't think of anything else pressing that needs doing in here. I might honestly join Tordrek at the bar for a brief moment. Anything that I can assist the 2 of you with before you head on?
No, do you want me to pick you up anything?
Well, do you know, now that all my hair's gone, I just have so much more room to move, but I'm also very, very aware my ears are just sort of out there.
Are you poking fun at me? Or
No, I didn't. No, that is not what I meant.
No, but you know
Fenn.
what I mean. They're exposed. Don't you feel self-conscious about that?
I mean, a bit. But it's kind of freeing, kind of nice. But Saga, if you find perhaps some sort of something that could perhaps go around the cuff of my ear or something, it's been far too many years since Mother pierced my ears. I don't think those are coming back anytime soon. But it's something that could sort of slip on the cuff of the ear, something like that. Might be nice. And I'll pay you back.
Oh, sure. Yeah. If I don't know how much of it, I'm sure I can find something. I have a lot of like coins, so I probably have enough.
That's fair, but I am rather asking you to get something somewhat frivolous. I don't mind paying you back for it.
Okay. I'm also gonna find you something cool. Just that I want to get you. I think.
You are too sweet and too kind, Saga.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I think everyone should have some trinkets. It's a very good thing to have.
Okay. Gorbjorn and Roshan are now like actually trying to talk to a shopkeep who seems to just not want to be in the shop and wants to be partying, but is like outside the shop. And he's trying to like kind of lean in, and it was a bit of just talking to him to get him to actually sell you things. And he seems real grumbly about it. But you're eventually able to get some supplies from him, some rations. Fenn and Saga, you make your way out into the throng of people. It's just a mosh pit. It is what it is. There are parts of it that are a bit more violent than others to make your way through, but it's not like anybody's getting sucker punched. But it is walking. Saga's just like, if I just stay a little lower than like a normal man's head
Normal
height.
punching height.
So I would like to take this. I would like to take this opportunity to coach Saga in how not to be touched.
Ooh.
This is part of why I wanted to come with, because Fenn is not particularly fond of crowds, or does he spend very much time there, but he knows how to maneuver crowds as best as possible without strangers touching him. So, Saga, just follow my movements. You need to try to be as fluid as possible. Just be ready to bend, be watching two people in front of you, and be ready to duck and flow out of the way.
Like a jellyfish.
When you see them make eye contact, see if you can gauge their perception. Are they noticing you, or are they noticing you because they want to strike you? And just follow me. I'll take the lead, and you follow me through here, and hopefully we'll make it a game. We'll see if we can get to the shop together, with each of us getting touched the least.
Fenn, roll dexterity, please.
Should I keep track of how many? Oh, you're gone. Okay.
Oh no.
It is a dirty 20.
Wowie.
So not being touched, impossible. But you are able to avoid like the situations where you have to like basically wedge yourself between two people to move forward. It is slow going. Saga, I'd like you to roll dexterity. You have advantage. You are being shown the way.
Be fluid.
Show me that way.
Move. Be ready to move at a moment's notice. Be ready to move before you need the notice. Just dodge, duck, move, whatever you need to do. Sometimes
got,
you
Saga?
lift one leg and balance on the other.
Hey, 19.
You're able to follow suit. Occasionally you have to be like, Fenn times it so well that like the gap closes and you're like, you have to like push your way through to keep up. But it goes pretty well comparatively to you watching people just being completely crushed. And you guys start to make your way towards something akin to a town square, looking for little shops. That is where you two get to see it. A huge wooden boat in the center of town, full of bags of spices, and there's pottery, a few weapons set up about it. You see that it's sitting on top of what is very obviously a large pyre.
Saga, do you know this custom?
Well, yeah, most of the towns that I go through do it.
You know what it's for, then.
Well, you guys explained, the monsters that we've been fighting.
So I don't need to tell you that no matter how shiny any of those bits and baubles are on that pile, that they're not for us.
Yeah, I did once grabbed some stuff because I thought it was like, where people leave stuff in their front yard and you can just take it. But then they got really mad.
Yeah, that's not
and
what
I-
this is. This is yes. So
Yeah.
he must have been loved. Look at all of that. He must have been a great chief.
Hmm. I remember Tordry talking about how people celebrate stuff when people die, and everyone's really celebrating, I guess, if that's what you call this. So he must have.
He must have been well revered. These are not his things. These are things that people of the community have given up in reverence of his passing. So I wonder who will take his place. I don't know this man or his deeds. All I know is what Nina and Roshan have spoken of him. But his people must have loved him something greatly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if they really did, then it must have been a good life, I think.
That's all we can hope for.
Mm-hmm. Do you hope
So we
people
go
do stuff
shopping.
like... Oh, okay, bye.
No, I'm sorry. No, Saga. What were you gonna say?
What do you think this is what it's gonna be? Is this what it's gonna be like when you go and when I go and stuff? Is that what people?
This is not. Oh, neither of us are chiefs. This is not my custom. It'll be. They'll find a. For me, they'll find a hollow tree. That's more our way. They'll put me in a tree, not a boat. We're not a maritime people. We don't sail. But they'll put me in a tree and they'll burn the tree. I don't know that if we're successful with what we set out to do, if burning will always need be the custom. I understand that from the traditions that have been handed down, the elves at least used to bury their dead beneath the ground. Not build pyres, but I don't know. That's been 10,000 years. It hasn't been safe to bury the dead.
Well, I mean, if we are successful, I think I'll like that one because then I could be like flowers and stuff.
That was the
nice.
idea. That was the hope, was to come back as being part of the earth. But since the fall, since the war amongst the gods, that has not been an option. And the elves have buried their dead just as the humans and halflings and everyone else have.
Yeah. Well, Lady Satyr is going to clear all of this up, and once we finish everything that she needs us to do, I'm sure it'll be fine. So I guess we shouldn't worry about it anymore.
Lady Satyr doesn't speak to me. If there's something that I need to be doing on her behalf, I'm relying on you to pass that message along.
Oh, I know you said that you wanted to hear about her, but I didn't know that you were like planning on like, are you gonna like do prophecies and stuff?
I don't believe that she plans on giving me prophecies. I think
you haven't even asked. You gotta ask.
I don't know how. How do I ask for prophecies? Oh my god. I've met a...
Everybody mimicking eye drop.
I understand that.
Fucking turd.
I'm not metagaming here.
No,
We've seen it.
Yeah.
With Rocky's too.
I told everybody about it, I think.
Yeah, you've seen it.
Yeah, I think I was
explained it to the
pouting
girl in the
about
cart.
hating Bragi at the time, actually.
No, I told
that would
it to
track.
Ellie on the cart.
Mhm.
There you go.
When we were on the cart with Ellie.
I talk about my weird prophecies from eye drops often, oddly.
I mean, it's
Yeah,
just
of
how
course.
she do.
So how do I receive prophecies from Lady Satyr?
Well, for Bragi, I just gave him the eye drops, and he took them, and she gave him the prophecy, and then he had to run off onto his,
And the eye drops incapacitate one, make them see visions. some period of time.
You make it sound very bad, but it's wonderful.
Well, no, I just worry about our current situation in this strange town. With, I would like to undergo this journey as soon as possible, but if my friends need me to help protect things, then I don't want to undergo it immediately.
Only a bit. I'd say not out here, but if we went back to the inn and then you were like sitting, I think it would be fine. It would just be like a minute, and then boom, everything. And then you have Lady Sater's communication, and you can just talk to her just like I do. And I think I've given you a symbol. You have it. Hopefully you're still wearing it.
Yes, I do, and it's still tied on Fenn's bow, but he has it. It's not on his person, but he has it.
Well, it's all over his armor, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unavoidable now. As you guys are talking, you sadly cannot actively dodge. You guys are getting jostled. People are
Fenn's
constantly
growing more
walking
frustrated.
Let's just, get to the shop and then grab those things, and then we can maybe go back. This is a little bit much.
Yes, please let us not stay here and be touched by these people.
Okay, Saga, this is going to be a luck check to see if you have a fair adventure at the shops.
I kind of want to, no, I shouldn't.
You also can decide to use it after you see what your roll is.
Oh, well.
You know,
okay.
tempting.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna use it.
You succeed then.
I rolled a 7.
You see a shop that looks like it has interesting things inside, and it looks closed, and you wish it wasn't. And you hear a guy go, "Ah, shit, I forgot." And you watch as the shop owner makes his way back towards the shop, opens it back up, and goes inside.
Oh, Lady Sater, I was thinking that I was hoping that shop was open, and now it is, and I think Lady Sater just turned that shop back open.
Open shop. Okay. And you happily run over, and you can start looking at that. He's like about to turn to leave again, but you're already inside, like, I'm buying your wares. I will say currently, sadly, you don't find something that like you really want to give like Nana. Nothing fits that category. But you do find, drum roll please. You find a little charm. It looks like it could be put on a necklace, and it's just like a kind of a gold rim with a piece of glass inside. It's not like it's super anything, but it caught your eye. And the drunk guy, he's like kind of antsy at the doorway. You see anything that's suiting you?
This one, this little charm thing, is this for sale?
Oh, yeah, that's he kind of looks at you, and he puts like a hand to his chest, and he's like, "Today's a day of celebration. You have that."
Oh, thank you. Saga runs up and gives him a hug.
Oh,
as long as he doesn't look too dirty.
He doesn't look super dirty.
Okay, then I'll give him a hug.
He like looks confused, and he like pats your shoulders because he feels like it'd be weird to like wrap arms around somebody he doesn't know, so he just kind of like pats your shoulder. He's like, "Yeah, happy funeral."
Yeah. Celebration. I think, is that, what should I say? Hooray.
Honestly, if you just have a good time, that's the point, is to show how much fun what this person meant to us. We act like if they were here, you know?
That's nice.
I think so.
Okay,
Can
I'll leave.
Can I go? Thank you.
Is there any? I'm looking for small bits of, like, jasper or agate or opal, cat's eye, anything like that. Small Shiny, sparkly stones. That's what I'm looking for.
There doesn't seem to be things in that category.
Not gemstones, just small sparkly stones, like little trinkets.
Yes, that does not seem to be what's here.
Right.
It seems to be a weird plethora of things, but like either it's buried and this guy is kind of like antsily trying to get you out so you don't have that much time to look, but it does not seem to be somewhere you can see it if it's here.
Yeah, furs and feathers I can provide for myself, but like stones and metals I need to get somewhere else. So
Yeah.
Fenn's looking for trinkets to add to the crest that he's making. So that's what he's looking for. But if there's nothing here like that, that's fine. Like I can get feathers. I'm already looking for them. Furs, I can get that. But
yeah, you're welcome to look around when you get to places, but currently just not here.
Okay. Right. Thank you. And Fenn's gonna bow, knowing that the shopkeeper stayed open a little longer for Saga and help Saga out the door.
Yeah, you guys kind of move out, and the guy kind of follows behind and kind of closes up and tries. He looks like he sort of locks up, kind of, but he's like, bleh, and he kind of wanders away.
Oh no!
Honor system style. And you start making your way back through the crowd because you're like, okay, back at the tavern, we at least know Nana's probably there, and we can get out of the crowd a little bit if we wanted to go to the rooms. You start making your way back. Gorbjorn, Roshan, would you start making your way back after doing your errands?
Yep.
Okay. You all start making your way back, and it's kind of like Fenn, Saga, Roshan, Gorbjorn. You sort of like can see each other through the crowd. You just see like a tall half-orc sort of moving like sideways through the crowd.
No, we're sneaking. Come on, duck and dodge. We've got to do
but
this.
You can see. Oh, okay, fine.
No, we can find, see, peek up and see them, and then go. Then
you all make your way. You get to the door at similar times, either through stealthing or aggressive splitting of the crowd.
Linebacker style.
And basically, just as you're walking inside, it is just a throng of people walk out. Like, people just like, Nana, you're at the bar, and you watch everybody, like, you hear somebody, and you hear somebody say, it's time. And you watch as multiple people, like, everybody in the bar gets up and leaves. And that's when you all are bum rushed. And you all watch as the crowd is starting to make their way back to Town Square. And you can see, Nana, you can now see Tordrak, who is now visible from the center of the room.
Tordrak, did you get what any of that was about?
I'm gonna have him roll a religion check. Maybe he's caught on. And you see the little spark. He's like, oh, this is a funeral, isn't it?
Oh. Ooh.
Oh,
We should we go? I think it'd be wrong not to.
I suppose so. We should stay low profile, but...
Anna, isn't it customary to give a gift? Nina, isn't it customary for surrounding communities to bring a gift?
You can, but aren't you pretending you're not from a surrounding community currently?
Yes, that's rather
Isn't it still
problem.
customary, and wouldn't Ave have wanted to send something if Ave's gift doesn't arrive? Does that not work against us worse than you being recognized here?
I suppose you're right, but what do we have?
What matters to each of us? What something that each of us can give that's of importance? Galunda would have sent something.
I mean, surely they would have done, which I would have expected it to arrive perhaps by courier. I mean, I don't know.
I think we've got as much time as we want to talk about this, because I think our DM has dropped.
I think that I bet the people of Galunder don't even know yet that Herseson has died, and I think there will be plenty of time for them to get a gift.
By Herseson,
What
specifically.
do dead people want?
I think it's more of a
Typically not much more than rest, Gorbjorn.
Gorbjorn, I think it's more of a sacrifice than a gift, something to be set upon the pyre, if I understand local customs correctly.
Now, hold on a moment. Ro, you said it was Herseson who died, specifically.
Yes, Chief Herseson has died. And that's why the entire town is wild.
That makes a lot more sense. But he... Oh dear, he never had another heir. I wonder... Oh boy. Okay. Well, first things first, let's try to figure out how long ago he passed. If it seems like less time than it might take for this news to travel to Galenda and back, which, goodness knows, that would be 2 weeks. If it was less time than 2 weeks since his passing, then I think it's safe to say probably Galenda has yet to hear about it, and it may wind up making folks suspicious that there's an entourage from Galenda already presenting gifts so early.
The way I see it, we're doubling the risk of them if they find out that you are who you are and find out that you were here for this and made no offering. It would be all the worse.
Then I have to think we go on using our original plan. Nina owes nothing to the funeral pyre.
Nina owes nothing, and we must leave town as quickly as possible.
Can we not just watch?
I would say if anybody wants to watch, I would only do it on the outskirts of the proceedings. I would try and stay low profile, such as is possible.
Nina,
Yes.
what would your brother do?
My brother probably would have thought of all this, honestly. But, as it is,
Should we not each give something of value? Is that not what the custom is?
I kind of want to just stay in the room. I don't...
Real quick, DM, I do want to clarify.
Yeah.
The custom for the funeral pyre for a chief, does it necessitate personal gift giving from individuals to go on the pyre? Or is it expected that there are signifiers sent by important folk from other villages, and that is included in the rites?
So it depends.
Okay.
Sometimes people wait long enough to start a funeral that people can bring gifts and then set them upon the pyre. Usually there are gifts from outside communities. But once again, you don't know how long it's been, and you know that Galender is 2 weeks away. Also, a lot of the times gifts are given when there's personal connection.
Okay. Well, Fenn, the personal angle of the gift giving is not as important in our tradition, unless the acquaintance is personal.
My concern, go ahead.
I will only say that when my brother heard news of folk he knew, he would send condolences and he would send gifts. But my issue is I want for us to be able to fulfill our promise to my brother without causing unnecessary strife for Galanda in the process.
My only concern is that if we are discovered within town and it is found out that Nona Hemingdaughter is here, witnessed the funeral, and gave nothing on behalf of Galanda, whether or not Galanda had heard or not, that the backlash would be tremendous.
I
It would
don't
be
disagree.
tenfold what it would be had this chieftain still been alive and found out who we were.
And we just showed up in this town. Nana doesn't look anything like herself, and like she said, the town wouldn't even know that the guy wasn't around anymore. Why does she need to go give something? Plus, we don't have anything, and
Customs?
nothing that we can give would be as nice as this man should deserve. Because we just talked about how amazing this person was, and if we give something that's not as good as this man deserves, then wouldn't it be more insulting than not giving him anything? I think that we should wait until Galender knows, and then once Galender knows and we have something of worth, we should give that. And I think that we should just stay out of it.
Galanda will have their own mourning to do. Tradition is important.
Alright, I'm not a part of this. I'm just gonna go up to the room. I don't want to do any of this, so...
That's understandable, Saga. That's all right.
I'm going. I have not brought a gift, and I feel like me choosing one out of my pocket, it just doesn't feel right to me personally. But that is not all of you, but I would like to be there just for spiritual reasons. So I'm going to start going.
I'm gonna go with Tordrick.
Okay, Tordrick and Gorbjorn head out.
Me too.
I'm going to stay.
Roshan follows.
I'm not going to risk myself being seen. I'm going to stay. Fenn, if you want to go, you're welcome to go.
I don't want to go. I feel obligated to go. Gorbjorn, before you leave, do we have much coin left?
Yeah.
If I gave my longbow from Briarheart and played that forward as if it were from Briarheart and from Galanda, could we afford to replace it in the morning?
Yeah, but do you know this guy?
I don't know him, but his people love him, and it seems wrong. Traditions are important, Gorbjorn.
So everybody in this town that doesn't give a gift is breaking tradition?
I think the idea is to give from what one can.
Didn't Nana say that you only give the gift if you know the person well? You didn't know the person, you just said.
All right, I'll attend. I'll attend, and we'll keep watch.
I think your heart's in the right place, Fenn. I really do.
What we can. He was a great chief, was he not?
I don't know.
Would we not want our great chief seen off with regard whether people liked him or not?
It's not my chief.
I certainly would. For my part, yes, I would. But as of right now, my being there, my giving any indication that I am here on a day such as this and did not prepare anything is not a risk that I can afford to take.
Then go to your room and stay there. And actually, speaking from someone who is not normally deceptive to someone who is trying to teach him how to be deceptive, don't let it be known that you're a person in this town that's in their room right now.
I can certainly do that.
Who's going? Who's staying?
Fenn is going.
Okay. Saga and Nana stay. The rest of the group, you follow out. By the time you start walking, you can already hear people chanting. You can hear screams and revelry. You see Tordrick did not stay for the second half of that conversation. After he said he left, as he wanted to go pay his respects, whether it is in the back of the crowd or not. And you see that is the case. Definitely, you would have to push people over to get any closer. You are the back of the crowd. And it takes up, you can just like see the boat. Like it is a sea of people ahead of you surrounding this thing, pressing inwards to get to see this. And you can hear the sounds of drums and instruments, and you can hear people. There's a few people who are like in the front. You can see some things are being like thrown in. You can hear like women sobbing and men cheering, and there's war chants. And you can see vaguely a proceeding. You watch as led in by the guards, led in by multiple women and armed men. You see a intimidating looking woman, stern and slender, completely topless, wearing what in only words could be said is the fabled bearskin around her shoulders. You can see that at her sides are these huge, dark runic tattoos, kind of curving up over her hips and under her arms. She makes her way forward at the front of this group, wearing the fur. You can see that holy men are also in tow, along with a handful of other women. And you can see one woman in the back of the group, fully decked out, as they make their way forward. Basically, you can just see them. Like, it's like kind of like you're like, let me stand up on my toes. But you guys are at the back of the concert, nosebleed situation.
Tordrick on my shoulders.
Tordrick's like, yes. When people cheer, Tordrick instantly cheers. He very much in tune with the group, cheering and chanting when they do. You watch as this woman steps forward. She does not step onto the steps of the pyre, but she stops in front of it and she waits. The women come over and stand with her. You then watch as a holy man steps out. He goes up onto the pyre and he presents his arms outwards. Once again, people cheer. He presents them with, he starts a chant, a ritual chanting that everybody starts to join into. Tordrek once again picks up on it instantly, cheers with them. He seems to have brought a drink with him and is sloshing it around. You can see multiple people are still drinking. You watch as this holy man picks up a jug and begins to pour a liquid over this boat. And you watch as more men come in carrying a plaque which has a man wrapped in silk in it. The body is fully encapsulated in this beautiful red silk, which is then placed upon the boat. And he places the oil jug next to the body, and he finishes his chant, and he looks back to the women. And you can see the main woman, the one chest exposed wearing the fur. She looks towards the holy man, and then she looks over to the woman decked out in jewels. That woman steps forward. You watch as the woman leans over and kisses her on the forehead, and you watch as the woman decked out in jewelry, beautiful finery, steps forward, walks up onto the funeral pyre. You watch as the holy man places something in her mouth. They mumble softly to each other. She climbs onto the pyre, and she pours this oil over herself and hers her son. There's more chanting. There's celebration. There are the wails of women. You can see the woman that has climbed atop her son also participating in this crying. She wails out, reaching her arms to the sky, and then lays with him, keeping her head to his chest.
And walks away.
People continue to cheer and scream and cry. The holy man steps forward and alights the pyre. Before anything too terrible can be heard, you hear drumming start. Loud drumming. It does not drown out her screams fully, but it does muffle them somewhat. The pyre is fully illuminated, engulfing the boat, the people aboard, and the items placed there. You then watch as the woman wearing his fur steps forward and stands in front of the pyre. She looks over the crowd, and you can see that the holy man looks at her like he's not sure why entirely she stepped up. And everyone quiets. There's just the sound of snapping and burning wood. She looks over the crowd. Leminder will only take one breath leaderless. We will not stand undefended. I am Chief Freyrun Marish. I am no longer held by my father's name or my husband's hand. I am bound by no man. The revelry will continue in his honor. And tomorrow I will wed. She extends a hand, and you watch as another woman walks onto the pyre, standing in front of this fire. A woman wearing much more covered clothing, long sleeves, high turtleneck, much more modest visually, very stark contrast to each other in appearance. I will not stop. Leminder shall not stop. Like Herserson, like smoke, we will rise. And it is a mixed bag at that point as the holy man looks incredibly confused. Most of the crowd cheers and goes back into the cacophony of music and wails and screams as she stands there presenting herself before the group, before this huge crowd of people. And you can hear Ellie from next to you. That was fucking bonkers. And that is where we are going to stop for today. Thank you all so much for being with us today. Indulging in a story which is can sometimes be a lot, can sometimes be sad, and hopefully we balance it well and it adds to it. And if not, at me in the comments. Thank you guys for being here. We truly appreciate it. We have a lot of different shows at the Dice Cult. On Tuesdays, we have a show that Frank DMs, The Legend of Theia, goes live at, I believe, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Their game's a little bit more lighthearted if that's what you're into. I don't know you personally. But it's good fun, good adventure, good drink. And Abby, what happens on Wednesday?
Well, on Wednesday, oh geez, we're in, I don't know what it is, underground things. I don't want to spoil it for someone who isn't all watching, but there is stuff going on. We're in a forest, but the forest is underground, and there's monsters, possibly.
So you might say things are going down.
Yes. Yes.
Hey, sometimes they go down, sometimes they rise like the smoke,
Yes.
Depends
At
on your
7:30
D&D.
Central on Wednesdays.
Yeah, hit
Woo!
that up if you need some D&D on Wednesday, we got you covered. And if
Lord
you're
knows I do.
something completely different, every Saturday we have our spooky, scary horror Saturdays, where we have every other week. Last week was Vampire the Masquerade, and this week is Call of Cthulhu: The 11th Hour. Which I believe goes up at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can go check the About page. It gives you all the information, gives you a little rundown,
We're playing that Masks of Nyarlathotep
Hell yeah!
Tell
Somebody.
me how badly I said
Argle
that
Bargle.
name in the comments.
Argle Bargle, yes.
Yes, the Masks of Argle Bargle.
If you were interested in masks of Call of Cthulhu, hey, you can hit us up there if that's your thing. If you want to keep up with us, we post a lot of art on Instagram, and we keep you posted on Twitter at Backs of Gods. A little incentive, I happened to hear through the Instagram grapevine that today a rendering of what Gulveg may have looked like is in our Instagram. If that's your cup of tea, I don't know. But you can come over and take a peek at that, and then all the character art that's there, and there's more to come.
Lord knows I gotta look at that.
Everybody pulling up their Instagram in the group, like, what?
What?
Once again, thank you guys for being here and supporting us. We love to tell a good story, and hopefully we're doing just that. We are here same time, same place every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we will see you next time. Good night, guys.
Night. Thanks for coming.
Bye-bye.